Good morning. This story is called Old Hat, New Hat. Old Hat, New Hat by Stan and Jan Berenstain. Once upon a time, there was a bear who had an old hat. And because his hat was old and patchy with a withered flower, he was feeling quite down and miserable. He wished that he had a new hat. All of a sudden, in a window, he sees a new hat. And as you can imagine, he starts thinking and he gets all happy. He says, I could have that new hat. If I buy this new hat, my life will stop being miserable. He goes into the shop, puts his old hat on a chair, and the shop assistant offers him to try on a new hat. The first hat he tries on is too big. The second one is too small. Too big, too small. He doesn't like it. He tries on a third hat. This one is too flat. Look. And this one is too tall. But the shop assistant is very helpful and he brings more hats. But the next one is too loose. And this one is too tight. And this one is too heavy. And the next one is too light. Oh dear. He does not like the new hats. But he continues trying on new hats. But again, this one is too red and too dotty and too blue and too spotty. Oh dear. Too fancy and too frilly and too shiny and too silly. Too beady and too bumpy and too leafy and too twisty and too twirly and too wrinkly and too curly. None of them is what he wants. The shop assistant is quite angry now. He lost his patience. But the bear continues trying on new hats. And this one is too holey and too patchy and too crooked and too feathery and too straight and too pointy and too scratchy. Oh dear. He does not like these hats. All of a sudden, he has an idea. He sees his old hat faithfully on the chair, waiting for him, and he says, wait. He puts on his old hat, looks at himself in the mirror, and says, just right. The shop assistant says, quite right, just right, just right, just right, just right. And he leaves feeling really happy with his old hat. Old Hat, New Hat by Stan and Jan Berenstain.